Hey guys, it's Sim Queen, and today I am doing another speed renovation for my save file in Windenburg. We are still doing the community lots. I have one more to do after this. The last video was South Square Restaurant, which used to be South Square Cafe, and now this is going to be a cafe instead of a library. This build is just so horrendously ugly. I don't know what's wrong with it. I can't even really put into words like what's so bad about EA builds. They're just horrible. So I feel like anything you do to these is an improvement, and that really helps take off some of the pressure when it comes to renovating these community lots, because I feel like it's not my strongest point. I do enjoy it, but I don't feel as confident renovating or building community lots as I do residential lots. But thankfully, EA has not set the bar very high, so that makes it a lot easier. I started by shrinking in all of the walls and making this build a little bit smaller because it is just, I thought, too big, especially for a cafe. Maybe for a library it wasn't so bad, but I just wanted it to be a lot smaller. And I wanted to have some outdoor seating area as well, some tables like with umbrellas and some park benches and a little bit of like flowery kind of decorations. So I wanted it to be a little bit smaller on this lot and have more outside space. So I did that. I really like the balcony though on the right side of the build. I thought it was really nice. I just had to again shrink that in, but I wanted to utilize that space as like an outdoor, obviously, balcony area. That's the one thing about this build that I really liked. Other than that, mostly everything else had to go. The shape wasn't bad. I did keep the original shape. I didn't delete any walls. I only shrunk them in to make the whole thing smaller. So, I mean, the shape itself was not that bad. I tried to use as many items as I could from Get Together just to sort of make this build look cohesive and like I don't know, the theme is kind of the same throughout. And that's kind of always my goal for these. After this build, there's one more in this little town square area, which is currently a nightclub, and I think I'm going to keep it as a nightclub just because the party scene is kind of a big part of this pack. And I feel like it would just kind of integrate well. Maybe not so much with this town square area. If there was another place I could put a nightclub, I would. And I may consider putting a nightclub somewhere else, but I didn't want any more community lots than what we already have. I think there's a lot in Windenburg. There's also a pool, and there's the ancient ruins. So, I mean, I have quite a few more to go, just not in this little town square area. I'm trying to finish this whole area before I move on to the rest of Windenburg. And Windenburg is made up of a few parts. There's also that part that's like on an island kind of, and there's some more modern homes over there, more extravagant homes. I'm excited to do that part. And then there's the part that's kind of over by the, what's it called? The gardens, where there's that big wedding venue. I can't remember what it's called, but it's more of like a country area. Lots of ponds and greenery and mountains in the background. I'm excited for that part as well. I like all the areas and neighborhoods of Windenburg, and each one is going to be kind of unique and different in its own way. But yeah, right now I'm struggling with what to do for the next build in this town square. I really wanted it to be something a little bit more quiet than a nightclub, because we've got a restaurant, we've got a cafe. A nightclub just seems like it might be too loud for this area. So I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth on what I want to do with that space, but it might just stay a nightclub because I do want to have one in Windenburg. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as far as community lots go. Right now I'm working on the outside, just adding some like benches and kind of filling up this little outdoor area. Cafes for me are not that interesting. I almost never go to them with my Sims because there's not a whole lot to do. I feel like there's no point in going to community lots if there's nothing to do that you can't already do at home, if that makes sense. Like, I want something more exciting and different that your Sims can't do at their own house. And cafes for me, I mean, they can make coffee at their own house, they can read a book, or go on the computer, or do any of those things in their own home. So it's hard for me to want to go out to these lots when there's not a whole lot going on. So that's kind of why I kept this build rather simple. I don't expect it to be this big, exciting, happening place where you want to bring your Sims all the time. So I did not spend a ton of time on it, but I do love the way it looks on the outside. I was definitely more focused on the outside than the inside because I wanted it to fit the theme that I've kind of got going for this little, I keep calling it a town square. I don't know what else to call it. There's a fountain in the middle and some chairs, or sorry, not chairs, tables and chairs with the little umbrellas. It's got a good vibe. I don't know what to call it, but it's very European, and I'm just trying to keep that theme the same throughout this whole area. And then the upstairs is mostly just open ceilings, and then I realized I didn't have any floor leading up to the door. It was like a floating door. So I put like a little catwalk there. Your Sims can cross that if they want to go outside, which is kind of cool because you can look over the edge and look down to this like coffee area. I made the coffee bar like a big square sort of island, I guess. I don't even really know what to call that, but there is a ton of seating here. I don't even know if I have enough items for a cafe. I think I do because I got that cafe bar that has like the dessert stand and the coffee machine. And I think that's all you need for a cafe, but I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I never go to these lots. I never have my Sims go to cafes, so I can't quite remember how they work, but I think I've got everything they need. I will play test this before I upload it to the gallery so that I can be confident that everything works and you won't have to change anything. Other than that, I think everything should be good. There's just lots of seating. Nothing is too cluttered, so everything else should work just fine. I've been having a lot of issues with stairs in my game though, so I do want to make sure that the stairs work. I'm not sure why it's been an issue. It's been an issue for a while. Pretty much ever since Snowy Escape came out, it's been a problem for me. I don't know if everyone else is feeling the same way, but especially if you have an open ceiling, that makes it really difficult to use stairs. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem is. I think it's something to do with fencing. But yeah, it's a problem. So I'm going to check that as well. And I think that's pretty much all I'll have to check for this area. I did do one sort of like unisex bathroom. I never do gender specific bathrooms just because you really don't need to, and it just takes up unnecessary space. You only really need one washroom anyway. So I did add that, and now just putting some details around the cafe. That was kind of something I struggled with. I didn't know what to put on this little bar area, so I did put some flowers and like little kitchen clutter things like the candles as well to light it up. This build, I thought this whole house, or not house, but lot, I guess, was very dark. So I tried to put in as many wall lights as I could, and because it had the open ceilings, it was hard to put hanging lights. So I did opt for wall lights in most of these spaces. Now I'm just doing the bathroom, and then there's like a little sort of walk-in foyer area where I added some benches, and that's pretty much it for the main floor. Upstairs, I did put some desks where you can pull out a laptop. I did not put computers on them. You'll have to bring your own computer if you want to use it. I just thought it'd make more sense just to have some desks, and it's not exactly like a computer cafe, just a regular one. I mean, you don't go to Starbucks and expect to use a computer once you get there. You bring your own. So that's kind of what I did for this build. Put in like 3 or 4 desks, not that many. And of course that little balcony area, I added some tables and chairs, and I think that's pretty much it. I had to add the garbage can in the bathroom because that was the one item I was missing for the cafe. When you do a community lot, there are certain items you need for each lot, so I just checked those all off, and it was pretty much good to go. Just adding in some more furniture upstairs. It's a pretty small area up here just because there's that catwalk and the rest is open, so there was really nowhere to put furniture. It's a pretty small area, but I think that it worked out pretty good. Added a lot of plants as well. That's just my go-to because I want to fill up those spaces and just make it look a little bit more alive. So adding a little bit of greenery, I think, really makes a difference. And here I'm just adding those tables and chairs. I think I put a bench and some more plants outside as well. I just love that little balcony area. I think it works perfectly for this space. And I think that's pretty much it. Just adding a few more items outside to fill it up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will upload this lot to the gallery once it is tested. If you enjoyed this build, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.